All right, so this started off as a perfectly reasonable theory. And then the Tin Hats got involved. So we're going to start with reasonable, and then just bear with me for the ending, okay? So I don't think it's an unreasonable opinion, or even that uncommon, just to say that the Binks Sake song has some kind of overall theme and message for the series. And it may or may not either tell how the story is going to go or what happened in the Void Century. So we're going to go over the lyrics here today, and then I have already convinced myself, so I've already drank the Kool-Aid and bought into the crazy, what I think the song may actually be. Going to deliver Binks Sake. Keyword being deliver. So what are we delivering to another place? Following the sea breeze, riding on the waves, far across the salty depths, the merry evening sun. So we have sun imagery, which without spoilers, we already know that that is a big deal. I'm thinking the original Willa D crew, led by Joy Boy, delivering something to the location where One Piece is. The birds sing as they draw circles in the sky. My main first thing I thought of would be the Kozuki clan. Their symbol is the bird in a circle, so they're allies in this war, fighting among them, buying them time, or holding the history, guarding the Pluton, something there. Farewell to the harbor, my old hometown. So people leaving the ancient kingdom to deliver something to the location of what will be known as Laugh Tale. Or maybe Wano. Maybe Wano. Let's all sing it with the dawn as the ship sets sail, waves of gold and silver dissolve into salty spray. I cannot think of anything that this could be other than the koi fish. So at Wano, we have the mountains, we have fresh rainwater dropping into there and creating the waterfall, which the koi fish go up. So I'm wondering if this is why I'm thinking maybe we are leaving from Wano, as we're referencing the koi fish around the harbor. Another thing to keep in mind, if the mountains have already been raised, Wano's borders are up, the Pluton has been drowned, essentially, and Joy Boy's path is closed. So this would be after probably Joy Boy broke his promise for whatever happened at Fishman Island, and someone else needs to open it for him, but for the time being, the koi fish symbolize the fact that his path is closed to him right now, and someone else will have to fulfill it in the future. As we all set sail to the end of the sea. So we're setting sail to the end of past the Grand Line, past the final islands, the end of the sea, being Laugh Tale, where the One Piece is, and we're delivering something there. Going to deliver Binks Sake. Like, what did I just say? We're delivering something to the final island. We are pirates sailing through the seas, cutting through the seas, cutting out this, possibly even cutting out the four seas, depending on the translations. So that could be referencing the theories that I've seen online that either the Grand Line or the Red Line are artificially made and were used to divide the world into the four seas, and that was happening at this time. The waves are our pillows, the ships our roost, flying our proud skull on our flags and our sails. Now comes a storm through the far-off sky. So possibly referencing the final battle, the one they lost, the destruction of the Void Century, and just all the chaos that was happening around that time. Now the waves are dancing. Dancing! Dancing! Joy Boy, dancing! Beat upon the drums. Drums! It gotta be a reference to Joy Boy. I refuse to believe otherwise. If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last. Once again, bring into reference like the test of wills that has been so prevalent throughout the series. But if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise. Rise, bringing up the dawn, reference to the prophecy. Going to deliver Binks Sake. So what are we delivering? Is it a weapon? Is it knowledge? Is it a child? Is it another prophecy? Is it something? Is it something physical? Is it a message? Is it passing along the history of the Void Century? We don't know. Hope for the future. Something. Today and tomorrow are dreams through the night. Waving our goodbyes, we'll never meet again. They know they're not surviving this journey. They know they're going to lose the war. They know that their only hope is to get something to the location where the One Piece is at Laugh Tale, so that somebody can fulfill what they were trying to do but failed to do in the future, and they're not going to live to see it. But don't look so down, for tomorrow night the moon will also rise. If the moon does not play a role in the final battle, I do not know. I'm convinced the Uranus is there. I'm convinced the Elephant Zunichi is walking around the Earth, following the tides and the moon, its path, guarding it somehow. Yeah, I don't know how that brings it close to Wano and possibly involving open the borders of Pluton's there. I don't know. You have the Enel up there. You have the Sulong forms related to the moon and its power. The moon is going to rise. Maybe that's reference to the Sulong transformation and them giving aid in the war or the future. I don't know. The moon is involved. If the moon is not involved, I will sue. Going to deliver Binks Sake. Let's all sing it with a dong, a song of the wave. So they have to sing this song to pass the message along because all their history is being destroyed. The Void Century is gone. Their history, their culture, everything that they were has been destroyed, and they need to get a message to the future. And the best way to do that is to, through song, through culture, through experience, and passing it along verbally, because that can't be destroyed. The memory put into the culture, because as soon as Brooke started singing this in Thriller Bark, everyone already knew the song. This is a song that has endured through time and ingrained itself in the culture and in the people. Everyone knows this song. So if it was created in the Void Century, there has to be a message here. Doesn't matter who you are, someday you'll just be bones, never ending, never wandering, our funny traveling tale. So one, traveling tale, laugh tale, even though it wasn't named that at the time. I'm fine with that though, we're fine, it's fine. There's also the possibility this is talking about someday you'll all be dead, and this is me, okay? This is tinfoil hat should be on. It could be referenced that Laugh-Tale is only accessible through the underworld, and that's why Roger had said that they were too early because they were all still alive. So Roger was planning to turn himself over to the Marines to be executed so he could then meet Joy Boy's reincarnation, next one, whoever inherited his will, at Laugh-Tale in the actual underworld and be there to greet him. I don't hate that idea. So that's me being mostly reasonable with this theory. Now the tinfoil hat really does come on, because what if it's more than that? What if the people of the Void Century needed to get their history passed on and survive? So they have the poneglyphs, which cannot be destroyed. They were made to endure. However, they also wouldn't want the world government to get their hands on whatever is at Laugh-Tale. So they also have to protect it from that information falling on someone else, into someone else's hands. So you got 4 Road Poneglyphs to lead you to the final island. And we had the one in Skypiea, we had the one that Big Mom has, the one in Wano, and there used to be one in Fishman Island, which was then taken and is now in hiding. We assume the man with the burn scar has it. However, consider me this, just bear with me. Skypiea, extremely hard to get to. Not most people believe it doesn't even exist. Easy to say, that is well hidden and guarded. Editing Jessica cutting in, yes, Skypiea was not a road poneglyph, it was just a regular, like, historical poneglyph with information on it, but I maintain, well protected. Same thing with Alabasta. Protected and guarded by the kingdom there. We know the Vivi's ancestor screwed something up, or did something, and was likely on the Void Century side rather than the world government and the ancient kingdoms and kings and queens who became the world government. So chances are that poneglyph was also protected by allies from the Void Century. Wano, closed borders, not exactly friendly to outsiders, and the protectors and allies most likely of the Void Century kingdom, especially considering that's where the poneglyph's creation originated and the language it's in. It's well protected. Same thing with, on a moving island that you cannot get to with a log post, only with a log post as it's always moving, hard to get to, protected by minks in the Sulong form. They're not just going to hand that over to anyone. And Big Mom, Emperor of the Sea, she stole it from somewhere. Fantastic. However, Fishman Island, out in the open, barely guarded, open field next to the apology from Joy Boy. One of these is not like the others. I maintain, and I'm wondering how crazy I am, that one is a setup. That one is a trick for the world government. So anyone can come in, take a rubbing of it, and if the one with the pointy hats is able to read that language, because maybe this language was a little bit more well-spoken back in the Void Century time, I don't know, they would be able to see Joy Boy's apology for failing them, breaking their promise. This is essentially, if that message got to the man with the pointy hat or the person with the pointy hat, it would probably read to him or her that, oh, I defeated them. this is when they failed, this is when they lost the war, give them a sense of victory. And then they translate that supposedly fourth Road Poneglyph and being like, this information has nothing of value, because the information in that one is not actually pointing them to Laugh-Tale. The quote-unquote fourth Road Poneglyph, I maintain, might not actually exist. I maintain that the secret to getting the final coordinate for the Road Island, for the Road Poneglyph to get to the final island is actually hidden in the Binks Sake song. So my proof of this is non-existent. It is mostly just, it seems like fun, and also that was the song that the Roger Pirates were singing as they were collecting the Poneglyphs, going through their journey. They were singing this song, and the lyrics had not changed throughout history. It's a pretty risky form of telephone if you need people to get to the final island and you're hoping they don't change the lyrics over centuries. But I also kind of like it. This may be based off that joke where you put 3 sheep in a school, label them 1, 2, and 4, and the staff spend a bunch of time looking for sheep number 3, and 3 does not exist. So the fourth Road Poneglyph, it may exist in the form that it was at Fishman Island, but it was a decoy. The fourth one does not exist. You need to have the spirit of a pirate and the will of an adventurer to know this song and recognize it's to be a map to the fourth coordinate, which will lead you to the final island if you already have the other 3. So let's go through the song one more time. Far across the salty depths, the merry evening sun. Evening sun. Sun sets in the west. So maybe we're heading west, maybe we're sailing into the sun. Something like that. West might be important. Maybe we need to have west on a certain location. Maybe the fourth Poneglyph that was at Fishman Island has a translator of some type that you need to use to translate the song. There could be something there. Waves of gold and silver dissolve the salty spray as we set sail to the end of the sea. Now, I still think this is a reference to Wano. I still think it's the koi. Maybe to clear the path for Joy Boy, the borders have to come down, and that will be the koi fish continuing their migration patterns uninterrupted, and that will be the direction that we need to go in. But if they bring down the borders too early, then they can't follow the koi fish. Doesn't really work with the Roger Pirates. Clearly wouldn't have had that part of information. So maybe you can do it without bringing down the borders, or maybe you need to bring the koi fish with you to the final island. That's why they were too early, because the borders were still up. Who knows? I do think it's a reference to Wano, unless there's something else going on. The waves are our pillows, the ships are roost. It really would not surprise me if this involved a sky island of some type, or if we're just sailing to like a dense fog that you have to go up on the crow's nest to see through, something like that, just describing the terrain of the ocean itself that you're going to pass. So you can either go through the clear ocean skies, or you'll see like a foggy patch and be like, those look a lot like pillows, let's sail into them. Storms through the far-off skies, the waves are dancing, beat upon the drums. So maybe a literal storm in the ocean. We've seen how treacherous this world is, so it would be perfectly fine for the environment in one area to just be a torturous storm that he has to go through. The waves are dancing. You might need Joy Boy's powers to get through it, or maybe the voice of all things will be enough to get you through to continue on your path. If you lose your nerve, this breath could be your last. So you have to sail through the treacherous waters, and it's a good thing we got a good navigator with Nami to get through that. But if you just hold on, the morning sun will rise. So that could literally be you have to sail straight on till morning. Do we know if Oda is a Peter Pan fan? Waving our goodbyes, we'll never meet again, but don't look so down, for at night the moon will rise. This is still me. The tinfoil hat is on. I really want a connection to the underworld. I really want to see everyone that we've lost, all the people in these flashbacks, Ace, Robin's mom, Nami's mom, it's just Sanji's mom, lots of mothers. I'm wondering if when you sail through this area, you'll see like the spirits of the dead, and it's like a temptation, stay with us versus continue sailing through, and they had to say goodbye to these people and never see them again. I'm just saying, it'd be heartbreaking. So we follow the moon, and by the time you reach the end of the song and any keys that come up along the way, you are at the fourth location. You then plot the coordinates of the other locations, draw your lines, and head off to the final island. I really like this idea just because, A, it's stupid and crazy, but I am questioning why one of the Poneglyphs was ever at Fishman Island. if it's so easily accessible. Like, everyone goes through there, and it was really, like, Joy Boy's apology is unguarded. So I feel like it's a misdirection for any of the world nobles and the government who come through that area and see this message, and then they think, oh, it's not actually of anything importance. I like the idea of them trusting that it would be the will of a pirate who sings the sea shanty that will hold the final clue, because that keeps it out of the hands of the world nobles and everything. Trusting in either the will-o-dee or inherent will and spirits, like, this kind of person would be the one who could understand and translate the song. I'm wondering if the man with the burn scar is just like, I have the final Road Poneglyph, and they're reading it and he's humming the tune of Binks Sake. I love that that could be why the Roger Pirates were singing that song in their flashback as they go and collect all the Poneglyphs. So to me, it'd be fun, it'd be cool, I'd like it. And it seems a little bit more entertaining than it'd just be, oh, find all 4 Road Poneglyphs. So tell me what you think. Tell me how crazy I am. But I like it. All right, I will talk to you later. Bye.